Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're back on the Drone Age dev server and it's time to have a look at the new helicopters which are coming into War Thunder in the next major update. With the release of the premium Chinese helicopter last update, it won't surprise you that this update we are actually getting, well, what is kind of a Chinese tech tree. There's only 3 vehicles in it so far, but there'll be more in the future I'm sure. So we'll have a look at that, and also an Italian premium that's coming in, which is fantastic to see since they've been without theirs for a while. Hopefully America will get a substitute for their premium, which was removed once Israel was added. The first helicopter in the Chinese tech tree is the SA-342L Gazelle. This has a really cool camo on it. I actually really like its camo. And it should be a very nimble helicopter, just like a lot of the Chinese ones, with what can only be classed as a pretty rough stock grind. It has access to the Turbomeca Astazu 14 engine, the good old turbo shaft, 50 kgf on it. Being a very light helicopter, it shouldn't be too hard to move around in. You can see it has NVDs, it has 20 times optics, and the reason for that is because it has the HJA missile. Now the HJA missile, you can see that you can have it in either 2 or 4 setup. I think you'll always take it in 4 setups. It pens 480, 416, 240 respectively, 250 meters per second as well on the maximum speed, which isn't too bad. The stock one, it gets those, the Type 57 rockets, it gets 36 of them, and then you can upgrade and use 14 of the FS-70 rockets, which nobody is going to do. And then also, as a stock configuration, you can get yourself 2 12.7mm machine guns. What's interesting though is this thing has custom loadouts, so if you want to bring along, let's say, a machine gun and then some missiles, you can do it. So you can mix and match and have a bit of fun, which you can see here, that's what you can do. So you can kind of defend yourself and then pop something. Now, I will say with the Chinese stuff, the weaponry is not all there yet, it's not fully textured, but it does work, which is quite nice to see. The next vehicle in the list is the Z11WA. This is the next Chinese helicopter, the second one out of the 3, and it very much looks like a civilian helicopter that they've attached a bunch of stuff to. So another very light helicopter with light ordnance, starts off with the same Type 57-1 rocket, 36 of them in total, and then it gets a bunch of really different ones. So you got the HJ-8As that we talked about before, and then it has access to the HJ-8Cs. These are the Sackless ones. They're 250 meters per second. Not a great firing range of 3 kilometers, but they pen a lot, 590, 511, 295. It also gets the FS-70s, and once again the 12.7 millimeters. So overall, not too bad. It also gets access to thermals. This thing in probably something like the in the simulator battles might be really annoying to deal with as a vehicle, because it can stay low to the ground. It's not that high in BR, and you can use, of course, the wonderful NVDs to be able to see things. Now, if I can remember the button, there you go. So it does have some thermals, so you can just kind of sit over here. You can lock onto targets. It doesn't do the full lock, you only have the standard one, and you can obviously fire some stuff in. The H8JCs, which do pen a decent amount, and it just means that you can end up, doing quite a lot of damage in a lot of areas. These helicopters are very nimble, as I said. They move around quite a lot. They're very similar to the Gazelle for France, just not had huge armaments on them. Does have a cockpit placeholder, but you can see your boy there, and also a bit of glass cockpitting going on, which is always lovely. So yeah, a decent little heli, which has access to some pretty good missiles on it, and also thermals, which is a really nice thing. Am I not allowed to leave? Oh no, I'm stuck in the test drive. Please, let me out. Uh-oh. I'm stuck forever playing Chinese helicopters. I can't get out of here. Oh, okay, it's decided it's allowed me out. All right, we're all good. So The top of the Chinese helicopter tree is the Z-19. Now, the Z-19 is a massive upgrade over the Z-11 and the SA-342, which is why it's at 10.3 and the others are in the 8s. It's much similar to the Z-19E, which is, of course, the pack premium that China got access to. So it has countermeasures in the form of 48 of them. It has access to air-to-air missiles and also air-to-ground missiles. It has some really nice ordnance on board. You got the TY-90s. These are IR guided missiles, all aspects, 6 kilometers. So these are the ones which are designed to be the helicopter kind of dogfighting missiles, which are really nice. Then it gets access to the AKD-9s, these Pen 800, 693, 400, which is really good. They actually are the laser designated ones. Gets the Type 57s once again, but it gets 72 of them in total. And then it gets the FS-70 rockets and also the 12.7 millimeters. So if you want to mix and match, you can bring some, air-to-airs and then air-to-ground ones. These laser IOG ones, they don't go very fast, only 340, but they're able to, fly at decent ranges of 6 kilometers. So overall, not too bad. Thermals once again, countermeasures once again. These vehicles don't have as many auto systems as some of the other vehicles in the game, like the K-50, the K-52, the Mi-28, but the bog standard stuff, which makes them good, are here, which is quite nice. So the top of the helicopter tree for China, you can either buy the pack premium or you can just grind it out and you'll get a very similar experience. The other nation is that has benefited from helicopters in this update is the Italians. The Italians get access to the T-129. This is an upgraded version of the Mangusta. It's a Turkish version of it, actually, and now technically the best version in the Italian helicopter tree. It's a 9.7, so it's the same BR as the A129 CBT, but it gets access to some pretty interesting weaponry. Has a bunch of countermeasures, so 90 of them overall, which is quite nice. It also gets the EFS, so if you get set on fire, you can put it out and then hopefully land safely so you can repair. Also has access to thermals, just like a lot of these helicopters. And the secondary weapons is where it gets interesting. So you have the UTMASs, or the UTMASs, the ATASs, and also the Sarit. Now, the Sarit is very interesting, along with these ATASs. So the UTMASs are laser guided 1100, 953, 550 when it comes to its penetration, but they are incredibly slow, only 180 meters per second, which is half of that of course, the Chinese helicopter. The ATASs, the AIM-92s, are very good. They don't have a massive maximum overload right now, but their lock-on's pretty good. The other machines, the Sarits, are kind of interesting. So these are laser guided, and they go at 480 meters per second. So you have these really interesting laser guided things. They have 290 millimeters of penetration. I believe these ones are kind of supposed to be different to the others, where these are supposed to be rockets, but they're guided rockets, but for some reason they're not missiles, because to do with their propulsion system, I believe it is. I might be completely wrong about that, but when they were talking about these on the dev stream, the thing that they made sure to mention was the fact that these were definitely not missiles and they were definitely rockets. So it was kind of interesting. We don't have the stuff such as the Turkish cruising game, which kind of sucks, but you can see here it does have the MVDs, which is quite nice. They're not great MVDs, they look kind of like Gen 1 or Gen 2, but it does have the lock-on systems, and you can fire the rockets from miles away, and it will just kind of home in on it and hit the target. You can see the propulsion isn't fully there all the way to the end, kind of like our missile is, so you can fire it up here, and it will try and loop around to the target, and there you go, it'll actually hit it. So it's pretty interesting how it works. You can fire a bunch of them at the same time, just like the other standard missiles, and they all should hit the target at the same time. So Technically, they're like fire and forget missiles, which, you know, a lot of other people have. So yeah, kind of interesting. Has, of course, the chain gun, which is nice, and has the standard missiles if you want to use them, and also air-to-airs. So you're not limited on what you have to use. This machine is, you know, very nice to see, because obviously for Italy they haven't had a premium for a while. It's been kind of missing, unfortunately, but now it's a hell of a lot better. So it's I'm happy that it's come, so people can enjoy it, people can have a bit of fun with it, and it means that grinding out the tech tree will be a little bit easier to do, since of course nobody really wants to grind out the Italian heli tree using the Huey. So it has a cool mechanic, it has some really nice setups to it, you know, it has access to the cool missiles, the air-to-airs, it has all the nice bells and whistles for a 9.7, and I'm sure many will enjoy it. As always though, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.